Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Kim with Creative Crafticality, and today we are going to be making 3 super cute paper pumpkins. So stay tuned to find out what you need for each project, and let's have some fun today.
For this first DIY, you will need a book, and I picked this one up from the Dollar Tree. You'll need your hot glue gun, a piece of paper or cardstock, a pencil, something to make your stem. This is a cinnamon stick that I had in my stash. I'm not sure if you could pick these up at the Dollar Tree or not, but definitely the grocery store or Walmart. I have these leaves from the Dollar Tree. I have a cutting mat. I have my utility knife, scissors. I have some orange distress ink, or if you have just regular orange ink or paint. And then I have some twine that was from the Dollar Tree. So the first thing you want to do for this is take your piece of paper or cardstock and fold it in half. And then with your pencil, draw a half shape of a pumpkin. And it's just like when you were in school and you drew your hearts. It's the same thing. So I'm just going to eyeball this and just do a half pumpkin shape. You kind of want to go down here because this is the top where your stem will be, and then at the bottom you want to make it not so round, kind of have a flattish bottom, just because you want your pumpkin to sit upright. So kind of like that. Now just go ahead and cut that out. Like that. Now what you want to do is go ahead and take the cover of your book off of your book. And you just want to using your utility knife, just cut the back, and then on both sides of the cover. And remove the cover. And I will be using this for a junk journal, so don't throw that away. So now what you want to do is open up your book and about halfway flatten it out here. Take your pumpkin template there and just center the fold right in the center of the book, and use your pencil and trace. Oops. On both sides. Now, using your utility knife, you're going to go ahead and cut along that line. And if you are watching this and you are not an adult, I would suggest that you have your parents help you with this. And you want to go in sections and just keep cutting until you get all the pieces. And go all the way to the bottom of your pages here on both sides. Now when you're done with both sides, this is what you're gonna have here. And what I'm gonna do is use my utility knife and cut off the ends here. If you wanted to, you could use this as your stem and just paint it brown or whatever color you want to paint it. But since I want to use my cinnamon stick, I'm going to cut it out. And then I'm also going to go along and trim along some of these just to clean it up a bit. So let me go ahead and do that. Might be able to use my scissors on this too. Let's see. Yeah, that's easier. Now what you want to do is, when you have it all cleaned up the way you want it, I'll probably go in a little bit later. Now, bring in your paint or your ink, and let me trim this off here, see places. Now's the time if you want to ink up your edges to give it that orangey coloring, you can, or you could just leave it the way you want it or pick a different color. I'm going to add a little bit of orange to it, and you just want to go through. You can do it this way, or you can use one of your ink pad, like your dabbers or whatever you call it. I'm just going to do this. So now what you're going to do is you're going to be gluing your front of your book to your back of the book, and this right here is the spine, so this is where you want to glue it together. So I'm going to put some glue down here in the spine, as well as some glue on the sides here. And just hold that together there. Just like that. And now it's not quite finished. We need to kind of separate these out so that it makes more of a rounded pumpkin, obviously. So what I'm going to do is go through and add just a little tiny bit of glue in between the pages right near the inside there. And that'll kind of keep them poofed out a little bit. Okay, so after adding a little bit of hot glue in between the pages, it's pretty tedious, but I don't know. I'm a paper crafter, so I like tedious things. But it didn't really take a whole lot of time. I just put a little tiny bit of glue in between near the spine there, and it kind of helped to separate it out a little bit. And so this is how I'm happy with it. I still have a little bit of cleaning up to do. Like there's some bits down there, and I may add a little bit more of my orange to it. But right now, let's go ahead and take your cinnamon stick. I went ahead and broke a piece off, and this is probably about 1.5 inches long. And I'm just going to take some hot glue and glue it right down here. on the top. Kind of hold it there and let it dry. Just like that. And I'll show it to you on the side there. And then I have a couple leaves that I picked out. Oops, wasn't quite dry. I have a couple leaves that I picked out from my Dollar Tree little leaves. So I'm just going to add those to the top. And this will actually help support that cinnamon stick. Add that there. Add another one here. Just like that. And finally, taking your twine here, we're going to tie a piece around to make it look like the vines on the pumpkin, and then I think I'm gonna make a twine bow to go on top. So I'm just gonna double knot this around. Cut it off here. Like that. And then I'm just gonna make a simple bow. I'm going to take 3 strands of this twine, and it's about a little over a foot maybe, and then go ahead and make a simple bow. Over here. He's got little extras here. All right. Those off. And let's see. Put that right there. Right. So cute. Yeah. That's how it turns out. So for this next pumpkin, you will need a paper trimmer, some scrapbook paper. I have a solid for the stem and then the pattern for the actual pumpkin itself. You need an awl or hole punch or something like that to poke through a hole for your brads. You will need some leaves. I have these that are die cut out from a Cricut Cuttlebug die, but you can also just cut out your own leaves from your scrapbook paper, or just use some leaves that you find at the store, like a Dollar Tree or whatever, the fake leaves. And then you need scissors. I have some ink, distress ink. It could be whatever kind of ink you have. I have these brads that are from Echo Park Tuesday Morning, and those were a gift from my friend Crystal. And then I have a hot glue gun. For this pumpkin, you're going to want to cut 12 strips that are 1 inch by 7 inches long. Now you're going to want to put your brads in the ends, towards the end, probably like a 1/2 inch in or a 1/4 inch in. So I have these 2 brads here, and I'm going to use my awl to poke a hole in there. That would be the easiest. Or if you have a really tiny hole punch, So with both ends secured by the brads, now you want to turn it kind of like in a C fashion with your pattern on the outside. Then we're just going to take and we're going to fan all of our pieces out until we get a nice round shape like a pumpkin. With it all fanned out like this, before I go on, I'm going to add a little bit of distressing. This is just the spiced marmalade, or you could use like a vintage photo or something like that, or whatever you have in your stash, brown ink. Just going to ink up the edges just to add a little more pop to the edges. Now, taking your hot glue, we're going to add our leaves onto the top. Just make sure I have this situated the way I want it. Let's see. I'm going to add a little... Hey, you two. A dog and a cat are playing. I'm going to fix this underneath like that. Clean up the hot glue there. And do the same thing with this one. Maybe a little too much. That. Now what I want to do, I used some of my scrapbook paper to cut out some strips, and I took, to mimic the stem, I'm using one piece of the brown cardstock that is a 1/2 inch by 6 inch. And what I'm going to do is take my scissors and just be very careful doing this. I'm just going to kind of slide it over the top to kind of make it curl a little bit. And I'm going to stick that underneath here as well. I'll stick that under the leaf, just and add a little tiny bit of glue in there. That, and it kind of mimics the stem. Then I have 3 pieces of this orange paper here that is 1/4 inch by 6 inches, and I'm going to do the same. These are for the little vines coming off the top. So now can curl up. Get it so it's pretty curly there. Go ahead and do all 3 of them. I'm going to stick these under the leaves again. Alright, so there it is. So super cute. Now for this last pumpkin, you're going to need that same template that you used on the book page pumpkin. We're gonna cut it down though to make it a medium-sized pumpkin. And then I have the cinnamon stick for my stem. You can use whatever stick or whatever you want to do. I have some twine here. I have my die cut leaves again, scissors, a pencil, my scrapbook paper, some tacky glue, my distress ink again, and my hot glue in case I need it. The first thing I'm going to do is cut this pumpkin down because I want it to be a little bit smaller. And I think I'll go in about 3/4 of an inch and just follow my outside line there. So I am going to use 2 different pieces of paper. I have this really pretty acorn fall leaf, and it has some turquoise and orange in it. And then I have this piece that is a turquoise, and it has like a faint wood grain on it. And I'm going to need 8 pieces of the pumpkin cut out. So I'm going to do 4 of one and 4 of the other there. So go ahead and turn them over, and you want to trace them all and then cut out all of your pieces. Now what you want to do is take each of your pieces and fold them in half so the pattern's on the inside. Alright, so now grab your glue, tacky glue, and we are going to alternate and glue together each of our little sides of our pumpkins until we have a nice round pumpkin shape. Now before we glue the last 2 pieces together, I have broken off a little piece of my cinnamon stick, and we're going to stick that right in the center here with a little bit of hot glue, and then go ahead and finish gluing that in. There. Hold that in the center there for a few seconds till it dries, and then we'll go ahead and glue the last 2 pumpkin sides together. And then we can go in with our scissors and kind of clean up the edges that, you know, weren't perfect. So I'm going to add my last bit of glue here. Definitely add in a few more pumpkin pieces there to make it a little bit more full, but I think this looks adorable. So I'm going to go ahead and trim up my edges here. Now we just need to add the finishing touches. I'm going to take and use my distress ink again on the edges. I'm going to glue, with my hot glue, I'm going to glue the leaves in there. Just going to stick them down in the hole. Now it's kind of hard to see coming up from the top like this, but I'll show you here in a second. Now, just want to add some of this
twine on the top. I'm going to tie it just a double knot. That.
So cute. I love it.
All right, guys, I love how these turned out. They are so super cute. The two here on the left, those are the easier ones. This one here, it's not too bad. It just takes a bit of time. It's tedious. I think it took me about a half an hour to cut the pages into the pumpkin shape. And then, of course, adding the little drops of hot glue in between to make them fan out a little bit more. That takes a little bit of time. Probably the whole project maybe took me an hour for that one pumpkin. These two only took probably 15 minutes at the most for each one. So they are super adorable, super fun. Hope this gives you some inspiration. I know when I saw these on Pinterest, I just fell in love with them and had to try each one and thought I would just have you craft along with me. So hope you like them. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Leave me a comment and subscribe, and I'll see you again next time. This is Kim with Creative Crafticality. Bye. God bless.